And welcome to tonight's live edition of the 941 Sports Zone. I'm John Mussone.
Got to be careful.
Yeah, I know.
Got a hot mic.
Got a hot mic. There's no doubt about it. We haven't been live in a while.
A lot of mistakes made in the coaches show.
Yes.
And we go back and we fix.
It's true.
There's no fixing this.
No, this is
when you're in, you're
right
in.
out there.
Yes, and that's a long time. I've been on the hot mic.
About over a year.
No, when's the last time?
Was this
time
last
year? Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
And so the live podcast we're doing tonight as
a lot of questionable stuff last year.
True. A lot of things that maybe
hurt a lot of feelings.
People hurt a lot of feelings last year. But again, we've been podcasting now for almost a full year.
Right.
Taped and down at Douglas Jeep, who are the sponsors.
Taped.
Of
we get the fix. Yeah, we get to fix it.
So we can fix a few things. But I'll tell you the truth. I would bet you that 90% of our podcasts run from point A to point B and never stop. There's no edit. There's nothing. Only
true. Yeah.
Francis puts some things in where we're doing edit on like a commercial spot.
He's like a magician. Even if he has to fix something, we don't even go back anymore.
I can't find when I make a mistake, and I'm like, I know I made a really bad mistake.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt about that. So we are tonight here at Bogey's. Thank them for having us here. We just did the coaches show, and now we're here to do a little podcast because we don't get to see you too much during football season for the podcast, and figured we'd come to you this time because this is where we did the coaches show and talk a little bit about what's going on in high school football around the area.
Cool time of the year, high school football right now.
Listen, everybody.
A lot of dreams out there. A lot of people are feeling like they got a chance, and then they do.
Everybody is is still in it to win it. And like I said, and you look at the teams locally. We talked a little bit about just a few minutes ago.
A lot of teams in locally. A lot of teams going to stay in because a lot of teams are playing other teams locally.
Right.
That's pretty cool. A lot of teams going to be playing Thanksgiving. So you're going to have either Lemon Bay or Booker.
Correct.
Going to be playing Thanksgiving Day.
Right.
Or Thanksgiving weekend.
Manatee or Riverview because they're both.
Thanksgiving weekend.
They're going to be there. And we expect Cardinal Mooney to win.
We do expect Cardinal Mooney to win.
And Port Charlotte's got a tough one. But again,
Port Charlotte's got a very tough one.
And they have. I think they've had some momentum. Their offense has at least. They've been playing a lot better since a couple losses earlier. But I think all of them. I mean, obviously the two teams that are playing each other, but rematches in those two games. Again, and both times they're playing at the same place again. So that 2-game deal where you're playing Manatee at Manatee again, and then Booker.
Yeah,
Lemon Bay.
I feel kind of bad for Riverview. Like they played Palmetto, who they already played. Now they're playing Manatee, who they already played.
And if they win,
and if somehow we pull it off, they'll be playing us, who they already played.
Right.
That's tough.
Yeah, you don't want to do it once, let alone three times.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's really tough. So they
got it going on though. They've got that team rocking and rolling, and they're getting better on offense, getting better on defense. That's why I said in our coaches show I'm going Riverview.
Yeah, I said Manatee. I figure home field. I know the first game was tight. I think maybe a turnover or something was a game.
Oh, it was
decider.
real tight. It came down to one yard.
Right.
At the end of Manatee. Heck of a play by the Riverview defensive end. The defensive end, the quarterback scrambled through a pass over the middle, and the defensive end, I think it was on the 30-yard line, and then the defensive end dropped back, and he made the play at the 1-yard line through just straight hustle.
Right.
That's Mark Christiani, D-line coach.
Yeah, no, and we know about Mark. Mark does get those guys motivated and does a good job with that. So, again, that's a good game. Our game is going to be a good one against the Immokalee Indians. Indians versus Indians. You mentioned Coach Delgado is a guy who has a coaching tree from Rick Darlington out of Apopka. Yep. So, they're going to be well coached. They're going to come into Powell Davis Stadium and expect them to win a football game for sure.
Yeah, Coach Delgado does a heck of a job. And like I said in our coach show, like his team is going to be very, very disciplined. So, and like you said, like you play a disciplined team, like they're going to be locked in and focused on the game, and they're going to think that it's their game to win. And it is their game to win, and obviously it's our game to win too, but they're going to, like I said, they're going to be very, very disciplined. They're going to be a disciplined football team. One thing I was surprised about is he's a Darlington disciple. Two things. One, he's not running a single wing anymore.
No single wing, yeah.
And Darlington isn't running it as much either.
Well, maybe it's just the times. I mean, everybody's spreading the ball out a little bit more. Maybe they're just figuring they got to put more of that into place.
What a unique offense to kind of get away from. I mean, I think Darlington's doing it a little bit, but not not like he has in the past. He does have a really extremely good quarterback.
So
I think that may have
that's
something
what
to
it
do
is.
with it.
You get sometimes your talent doesn't meet your system, and you kind of meld it into some sort of something else.
Darlington went from Apopka to Valdosta to back to Apopka, I believe, and then back to somewhere in Georgia. And then he took the DeLand coach, and I texted him. I said, "Coach, why'd you take the DeLand coach?" And his response was, "Because I heard you're an 8A."
Coming to get you.
I said, okay, touche. We'll see.
No, I mean, they're in the playoffs.
I think that they will win.
Do they play Treasure Coast this week?
No, not this week. The following week, but I think they win that.
Okay,
and a close one.
And that.
I think they played someone this week that they already beat.
That particular grouping of teams. There's a lot of his disciples all over the place.
I tell you, that region is like so up in the air. It's like you got Vero Beach, who had a tight one with Treasure Coast already, and they're playing again this week.
Right.
So you got Vero, Treasure, DeLand with Rick Darlington, and then University, who's 9-1. I think their only loss was to DeLand.
Okay.
And I think it was a pretty close one.
In that area too, they come very close to the 4M area as well with the Sanford Seminoles and all those other all those teams, and so they're all. Again, they all kind of know each other, and they all kind of play a similar style. They're all very good, disciplined kind of teams, and so very battle tested amongst each other. To see the one who comes out on top is going to be a good one. There's no doubt about that.
Darlington also graduated from Lakeland.
Oh, come on,
and I think
where hasn't he been?
I'm sure.
Tell me he was at St. Thomas for a while
sure
too.
He played. I'm sure he played for Castle.
Yeah, he'd have to. Castle's been there for 50 years.
Well, Darlington's kind of old.
Well, I mean, still, how much? Because is he in his late 60s?
I don't know.
18,
I don't want to disrespect the man and tell him saying I was saying he's old, but he seems. I'm stopping right now. He's going to text me and say I was saying he's old.
No, we just said no. It said experienced is what you're trying to say.
Experienced.
A lot of experience. Look at you, 17 years now as a head coach. Yeah. And by the way,
my first year coaching, he had a gray beard, a gray goatee. That's all I can say. So if that tells you anything.
The FHSAA gives you a script that's supposed to be read throughout the entirety of the game from the PA system, and then of course on any broadcasting as well. And the first part of it is basically they're telling you, name of the coach and the name of the team and everything else. And every time we write down what year you're in, nobody believes it. They're like your 17th year now at Venice High School for the head coach. And I know one year you didn't believe it. And I was like, no, it isn't.
I remember
and then it was like, but this week I handed off to
it feels like 37.
One of our 5 PA announcers that we have, Jason Swartz, had it. And I said, here, they got to read this. He's like, well, this is wrong. I'm like, no, it's 17 years. It's been that long. So, and obviously your tenure now puts you way ahead of just about everybody in the area. I don't think anybody is in with maybe 10 years of you at this point.
Not the same place.
Yeah, not the same place. But coaching-wise, no.
Yeah.
Same place, no doubt.
Yeah, not the same place.
And
I think Smithers is
he's got to be second.
Yeah, because we both got the head coaching job the same year at Cardamooney. He was at Cardamooney.
Would Coach Ingman down in Port Charlotte might be
No,
close.
he's not. No.
He's not close to – okay.
No.
So,
but I want to say Smithers and I both got head coaching jobs the same year, him at Cardamooney and me at Venice. But he took a couple-year hiatus.
Right.
But now he's the head dog at the big Riverview.
At the Riverview, no doubt about that.
And he's got a couple. Brody Wiseman's there. He was at Sarasota not very long.
Yep. Yeah. So again, Friday night 7:30. In case it's Tuesday night. We're here at Bogies. But come on out. We need everybody out there for the Venice game in particular. But if you're not watching from Venice, you're watching from somewhere else, go to a high school football game this week. This is, great game last night in the NFL. You had Buffalo and the Broncos.
Great game or close game?
Close game. Close game.
It's very sloppy.
But when you go to the high school games now, like what we do at Venice, and I know what's going on other places, there's a light show. There's the band. There was a flyover last week. We honored Pete Dombrowski. We honored the veterans. this all happened in about 30 minutes pregame,
Flyover, that's pretty cool. I mean, how many people had the flyover?
It was cool, and what a spot we had. We were in the press box, and I'm like, here it comes. It was coming right at us.
I've heard. Now, I don't know the show. I've heard rumors that someone's going to drop in with a ball.
I know you told me about it, and I'm thinking that whoever would do that, what a cool thing to do at a game where you're dropping in with the game ball. I've seen it happen in certain games, like Super Bowl does it. That's how big of a deal it is. They drop in with
this guy's just learning.
Well, look,
I don't think he's took his lessons yet.
If he's got the chops and he's not afraid to do it, man, I'd love to see that land right on that
right in the V.
That would be fantastic. And right there, and then the person who does it should be the honorary captain.
Oh yeah.
They take your gear off and flip
like
the
surprise
coin.
guest. Take his mask off.
Look who it is.
Yeah.
No way it's that person. So listen. I'm on board. I would encourage that person if they're thinking about it. Go for it.
Yeah,
definitely go for it.
sure.
It'd be a once in a lifetime scenario with that. So again, talking about the local playoffs, it is cool that we have this many teams.
Is this, speaking of cool? Is this a cold front coming in?
No,
it's just rain.
It's just rain. A stationary front, which you were just told.
But I don't know what that
basically,
means.
You've got a little bit of weather coming in off the east right now, but then what's gonna come through the next 2 days is coming from the west, from the Gulf side. It's gonna blow go through there, and then the low's gonna be there, and then supposedly that by Friday it clears out, and then it's gonna be a Wednesday, Thursday rain event. Friday clear out, Saturday weekend nice, drier air. There's maybe a little cooler, but more because of the drier air coming through, and then maybe something for Thanksgiving. I like to eat my turkey with a sweater on.
Well, that's not this week.
No, but it's coming up
next week.
It's 8 days, 9 days away.
Yeah, you got to have even if it's not the weather, you got to put a sweater on during Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's the tradition.
Because you're going to be so fat.
Get itchy yeah.
I mean, it covers up.
No belt either.
Yeah, I mean. Even though you're fat, the sweater makes you feel better about it.
Absolutely.
Or the hoodie. You got the hoodie and you got the pockets. You can put stuff in your pockets.
And again, nothing. There's no button to be like bulging out and that stuff.
Put a couple napkins in your I have a napkin in my pocket, and so you can always blame it on a napkin. And
you don't feel bad going back afterwards and going back and eating more stuff after you just got sick from the early. And it's an early meal too, so you can get 2 dinners in. I don't know what time you eat. We eat like at 3:30.
Oh no,
and then
we
again.
eat at noon, and then I think we stop eating around 7. And we have a dinner you got to act like you eat all morning and all afternoon. And you're stuffed like a pig, like you're stuffed. Then you got to act like you got to eat Thanksgiving meal. Oh, it's time for Thanksgiving meal. It's time to eat. Like, oh my gosh, we got to eat.
Exactly.
It's nuts.
I just caught my eye real quick. This is live. I just watched the hockey fight over your shoulder and a guy I think he got concussed. Just got punched in the face.
I'm a nervous eater, and I can't imagine how much I'm going to eat Thursday if we make it that far.
I'm a grazer, which means I'm eating all day, just a little bit all day, and then but for Thanksgiving, I got there's no way I don't have a huge plate of food in front of me because I want everything on the one plate.
You got to try it.
Right. I got it's stuffing, it's green bean casserole.
Right, you got to try it.
Very systematically done, and then
oyster stuffing. You got to try it all.
And then it's got you got
to try all the desserts.
Oh, that's the other thing. I'm not a dessert person, but I am a dessert person on Thanksgiving. I like apple pie.
Right,
I like
you got to try it all.
I like any of that stuff because you can't have. And again, it's the same thing on the dessert plate. It's a piece of this, it's all the way around. And there's always somebody in my family, at least, that has some like signature dessert that they bring that time, and you got to have that.
Of course,
too.
We got like 3.
See,
it's 3 signatures. Yeah.
So you have that. So
are we taking a break on this?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go.
All right.
Manatee, Riverview. Who do you got?
I got Manatee. I think Manatee's going to revenge. I think Manatee's going to. They're going to play a clean game, and I think they're going to win a close one. I think I like Manatee.
So you think so then I don't know. I'm going Riverview. I'm not sure that I think that Riverview's getting better. I think Riverview can stand in the paint. I think they're going to be able to run the ball. And the X factor is Brody Wiseman.
Okay. Like I said, I just thought that again, execution-wise, I thought Manatee was very methodical. I think they can control the pace of the game. I think it's going to be their idea. And I think athletically they match up.
I think one thing that could kill Riverview is big plays.
Okay.
So if they're able to limit big plays by Manatee, then I think they win it. I think they walk away with it pretty good.
And I just think that playing at the home field for Manatee is a really big advantage for them.
They already beat them there at home.
I know, but I'm saying that's good. Now you got to do it twice. You do it twice, hats off, tip of the cap to Riverview. Win twice.
I think it's going to be Riverview by a little bit more.
So all right, so Lemon Bay Booker, another
Lemon
rematch.
Bay Booker.
You like Booker, right?
I'm going Booker.
And I picked Booker early in the year to win the region. I said, but I think that Lemon Bay.
Oh, we got to go back to.
Yeah, I've got all the.
Hey,
a lot of stuff.
I said play for it, right?
Right.
Not win it.
Right.
Is that what I said?
You did.
Francis, we got to find that.
I should have it in my notes.
In the summer, I picked Booker, plays for a regional championship, doesn't win it.
Right, and I said they win it. I said they were going to win. We were going to win, and I think I had Port Charlotte winning as well. I had three. No, I had Cardinal Mooney. I had
you
Mooney
might be right
well.
in Cardinal Mooney.
Yeah, so I had those, and I said I thought there'd be three regional winners from this area to go on to the state semifinals.
Or maybe I said Booker wins the region.
I don't know, man. I think you were right what you said though. I will check it and next podcast.
I'm going Booker. I'm going Booker. And to be honest with you, I went Lemon Bay. I thought Lemon Bay was going to get it done the first time, but I'm going Booker. This time.
So again, that's going to be good. I know you mentioned Port Charlotte at Naples, a tough game. Naples, we've seen them. We saw them in the spring. Grind it out, but they got athletes. They can. That quarterback they had against, he was good.
I'm going to go Naples on that one.
And then Mooney, I'm not sure who their opponent is, but I know they're favored.
It's Lakeland Christian.
Okay, so
I'm definitely going Mooney on that.
Too.
Mooney got a bye.
Yes.
So this is their first playoff game.
And I think that's who's left right now as far as the area is concerned. I'm trying to think anybody else, but I think that pretty much wraps it up. Because that takes into account 2S, 3S, and 1S and 4S for us. But again, it's a testament to right now where football is in this area. You know, everybody's sort of there's an elevation in the play.
Not bad. And Palmetto was in. We had 4 teams in 4S.
It was this close to being
Sarasota.
Every team in our district would have made the playoffs. All 3 of them.
We had Lakewood Ranch. Obviously, we played them. We got Venice. We got Manatee, Palmetto, and Riverview. So 5 of the 8 teams in the region
were from our area.
That's not bad.
No, because it just tells you that again. If that's
really,
scheduling.
If we would have maxed out at 6.
Yeah, because it would have been
because you had 2 other district champs.
Right.
We'd have maxed out at 6.
Right.
We had 5.
So again, it just bodes to tell you how things are progressing around this area. Right. And again, Lemon Bay, again, second year in a row where they're making a run into the playoffs. Booker again back in again. Big win for Booker though. By the way, I will say this: your pick is not. It was tough to me to not go because they beat Fort Meade, who is a very, very well thought of team this year.
Yeah.
They weren't the number 1 seed in the region, but they were people were like Fort Meade's the real deal, you know, and so they took them out and gave themselves that what is it, the 3-7 matchup? Yeah, it would be 3 versus 7.
Yep.
Because they were the 2. So anyway, I'll say it one more time, guys. Go out and watch high school football. It is more exciting than you're going to watch on in a lot of cases than you'll see on 80% of the games you're going to watch on Sunday, and the same thing with on Saturday.
Oh, there's so much passion and intensity of it, you know, just because there's so many kids that are possibly playing their last football game.
Right.
There's a bunch of kids that'll be playing their last football games. Some of them will know it. Some of them won't know it's their last football game, but there's a bunch that will be playing their last football game.
One of the things it's fun for me a little bit, me being able to go up to the stands to get to the press box or whatever, you're on the field, but to see the nervous energy, let's call it, of the parent group. They're all there and they want to talk about the game, and you can see they got their wide-eyed, and it's kind of fun because you get to see, you know, what it means to each individual family.
Right.
They're there to support their son. their brother, whatever it may be. They're there to support them, and they're feeling every minute, second of it. It's big, and it's cool to see. And you don't get that sort of access in a lot of cases where you don't see families or whatever it may be, but you have to get to see it right there. I think it's really cool. And of course, I love when the band comes out early and you got the flag, the color guard, everything is going there, and then people are all there to watch that as well.
Flyover,
yep. and again, eventually, somebody coming in a parachute with a football tucked away, and that would be fantastic. Awesome. We'll take our first break of the night. Come back here in about 30 seconds. Quick break, and again, real quick to stay with us also for later on when we do our What's Bugging Me segment, sponsored by Truly Nolan. So we do appreciate them for doing that, and of course Douglas Jeep. Back here at Bogies in 30 seconds.
Douglas Jeep Chrysler Dodge Ram is excited to announce Black Friday savings all month long during the Black Friday sales event. Get a great deal on the new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab from only $369 per month. Or drive a new Jeep Renegade Latitude from only $319 per month. Drive a new Jeep Grand Cherokee from only $399 per month. Get Black Friday savings all month long during the Black Friday sales event going on now at Douglas Jeep Chrysler Dodge Ram in Venice. Who has Black Friday savings all month long? Douglas does!
Welcome back to the live broadcast of the 941 Sports Zone. And Coach, talking about the podcast in particular, we've had some interesting guests so far. And if you haven't seen the podcast, obviously we film that and tape it. It comes out on Wednesday nights. So if you have the chance to watch, we'd appreciate it. We've had some good guests. We've brought a lot of different. We had a media day already. We've done some of our old alumni to come through. Some of the media people locally. So it's been a fun experience, and I know that early on you were there with me for the first maybe 15 to 20 episodes, and then took obviously your break to be there and be doing football season. It's kind of fun for us to be able to really be able to speak of things that are meaningful in a lot of ways, and it's fun as well, but meaningful subject matter for sports around this area. So it's cool. I mean, like I said, we've talked about everything from the games themselves to different issues in the game itself.
Hopefully you're not talking about live golf anymore.
No, that's
okay.
And here's the reason why. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to give it any more credence than it's already got.
Right. They've
decided to have some dirty back deal with each other that they can't seem to work out and may never work out. So until everything is now, it just is what it is. Even the arguments back and forth have turned into slap fights, if you know what I mean. They're not even. Nobody's throwing haymakers anymore. Now they're saying so and so didn't wear his hat, or so and so did this, and he yelled at me in the parking lot. Now it's just turning into a little stupid shell with that stuff. So it's not worth talking about. But again, other things that have been in the game of especially college football with the portal and the NIL money, and that's where I was headed. So now you have another issue, which I wanted to bring up to you.
Another one.
Well, for Harbaugh,
same one.
Well, for Harbaugh, this is his third or fourth one. He's gotten himself into. In this case, the advanced scouting, if you want to call it that, or whatever it may be, of him having some influence or some sort of prompting of somebody to go and videotape the other team's signals. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I think it's part of the game.
Yeah, gamesmanship. Right.
I think it's part of the game. However, the one part that I didn't like was I heard that there was an assistant coach that got fake credentials and was on the sideline.
With a hat and the whole deal.
Right, at another game, not even their game, getting signals. That, I think, there's an issue with faking the credentials.
Wouldn't it?
I don't not stealing the signs. Like, hey, if you want to, but there are rules in the NCAA that say that you can't go to an opponent's game when you're not playing them to scout them.
Right.
That's in the rules.
And the technology you're using, if it's a phone or whatever it may be.
It doesn't matter. You can't be there.
Right. And so that's the issue. And to kind of,
it's just like, what is it? What did he get? 3 games?
Yeah, but he's not coaching during the game.
Well, it's like the FHSAA. back when Huddlegate, you know.
Yeah.
And then their response was, "Well, we don't have any rules against stealing people's huddle." Well, you have any rules about breaking into someone's office?
Right. It's the same thing.
Taking it, come on, you're supposed to be the governing body of us. What are we doing?
We're okay with hacking because we don't know.
Yeah, we don't have any rules on hacking.
Right. It makes no sense.
Come on.
Now, in this case, like I said, this is with Jim Harbaugh. You look at what happened, and then he sort of turned it into like he's a victim in this whole situation. But you're the head coach. You know this guy. He's the guy who has been accused of doing it. Was on the sidelines with telling Harbaugh what the play was going to be. Whatever how they're lining up. So it's not. It's all videoed. So I always say the same thing. This goes back to all these weird things. I go back to Deflategate. Okay. Not Tom Brady. The balls were underinflated.
It was cold outside.
Whatever his reasons, that's fine. He can do whatever he wants, right? But then you do it and you get caught. Okay, whatever happens.
They didn't do it. It got cold outside.
Well, so here's the deal. If it got, so that's what that was headed. No matter what the situation is, you could say in this situation, I like the balls to be right at the edge of inflation, right? Okay.
Okay.
Got it. It got cold, so it shrunk. Right?
Right.
Okay. So that's all you say is, I don't know, it got cold out. Everything shrunk, right? So the balls are shrinking. What can you do? It's cold weather, right?
That's right.
So why make a big deal out of it? Just say, this is what it is. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'll make sure they're more inflated before we start the next game.
Right.
Instead, you go how dare you say that about me? You get all up on your haunches a little bit and makes you look guilty. If Jim Harbaugh said, I didn't know it was a problem, where's the rule? Read it to me. I apologize.
Right.
Instead of going into this whole thing, and what really freaked me out, which was going to be my what's bugging me, but I one trumped it, was the coach, the interim coach for that game, tearfully F-bombing his way through an interview because they just beat a crappy Penn State team at home. I'm like, really?
Did he get in trouble for that?
I mean, I'm sure Fox got in trouble more than anything because they put the F-bomb on national TV 3 times. So
yeah, just guy had some passion. They interviewed him at the wrong time.
I get it.
I'd hope he didn't get in trouble.
The guy who should have been crying was Blake Corum because his face was messed up after that game. That should be, and that's probably why I didn't even go with it, because I'm like, I get the coach and everybody's trying to rally around everybody. All right, I get it, but it was sort of silly at some point. But then you see Corum in the locker room. That's a football player like that. Your stuff was messed up.
We knew he was tough when he played
here.
Played against us.
And J.J. McCarthy, his quarterback, played at Venice High School too. So, yeah, both those guys we saw with. And in both cases, I thought McCarthy was the best quarterback IMG's ever had.
Oh, for sure.
How he could throw and run and everything, he was that guy.
Yeah, he was good.
And Corum, I mean, anybody who was on the field that they just saw, he was like, he's the guy that just, if they said, okay, there's a wall right there, I'll keep running until I break through it. He did. There was no quitting that kid. And what did he run for 300 and some yards and a half against us? I don't like to
remember. I don't like.
Yeah, I know. It was still, but it was. But he was the real deal because he's doing it now. And he's only about 5'8". He's not a big guy.
No,
but he's rock solid.
His linemen were huge.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So the whole idea is, okay, it is what it happened. You could have done it without the technology. You could have done it in any other conventional way that other people do the same thing. If you did it, or if there's any spot that says maybe you did it, make your apologies. Tell them you didn't know, whatever the case may be, and move on from it. Now we're 5 weeks into this. The guy might leave his job over this. Potentially could say, I've had enough. I've had these other things, the other problems. I'm gone. And over what? Over some signals? Why don't you change the signals if you're the other team, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
it's
right?
Part of the game,
Here's
the baseball. They all try to steal signals, right?
They're doing it all game.
And you don't think that major league guys send somebody to the games to try to get signals?
You played baseball. You're on second base, and the third base coach is going, grab and touch and everything, and one of those things means do something. So they can't figure out which one it is, and they switch it up, or they switch up things even between the catcher and the pitcher.
We got a live, hey, I touched this, I'm live.
Right. That's what it is, and so it's all that kind of stuff. I don't understand how that's not a problem. But I will say this to you as well. Why the hell can they not afford a helmet with a
I was thinking that too.
In high school, the same way.
I think that's going to happen. Well, they have them. Our headsets come with them. we can't use them.
Right.
But I was thinking the same thing. Like what's going to happen here is this is going to result into college football going to the helmet com.
Have to. And I love the fact that somebody said I'm a media guy. People in the media actually say, well, maybe it's because some schools can't afford it. Who can't afford? Not everybody gets the helmet with it. It's like what? 3 guys get it.
It's not the helmet. It's just one guy on defense and one guy on offense. But you don't even need to. You can just say in high school, like, hey, you get the quarterback. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's just one little thing. You can go in and out of any helmet.
It's that simple. And I'm just saying, they're talking about the technology is unaffordable for a team in the NCAA. It's ridiculous.
Every team that we've played has headsets.
Yeah.
And our headsets come with the helmet thing.
That's the point. Why in the heck did they not have it in college football? This is a no-brainer. Then I get there's some the cards with the 4 pitchers on it, putting up giant flags with different colors and you can't see over the top of them. Like, my God, if you had a helmet with a speaker in it, you're done.
I mean, we have signals of teams we play.
Sometimes it's easy, right?
We have a whole book of every team we play. Like we have we have their signals, but sometimes it's hard to communicate that to a kid, but
instantaneously.
Yeah.
Right? It has that. What you got to realize, it's not like you can go, hey John, it's going to be a run.
I wouldn't say we're stealing signals though. We're playing a game. That's part of the gamemanship.
Right. And
don't do signals that are easy to get. Like I'm sure everyone we play has our signals.
Right.
We just go fast enough you can't communicate it.
That's again, in high school, nobody's draping themselves or doing this or everything is just calling signals out. That's it.
Yeah.
So what is? And and there's options. Look, in pro football, every huddle there's 2 plays called. There's 2 options on the play, whatever it may be, based on coverages or whatever. You don't know what's coming. Obviously, they got the communication. Doesn't mean the defenses are worse or better because of it. Right. They just know how to. You even know this too, formationally.
Yeah, you can pretty much.
What the percentages, tendencies are going to be.
Formation and mixed in with down and distance, mixed in with we know their signals.
3rd and 18, twin receivers. Is it a pass? Well, it could. You would think most of the time it's probably going to be a pass on 3rd and 18, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just. I'm not saying it's all that simple, but sometimes it is. Sometimes it really is that simple. And so I think this whole thing has been, again, Deflategate leading to this has been a little overblown. And I think it's something that I think that the NCAA should just step in and say, hey, everybody, mandatory, or unless you don't want to use it, go ahead and put the radio in the helmet and be done with this. And
that's what I think they should move to.
Because it's after a while, it's just crazy. And I think high school, when college does it, 15 minutes later, high school's doing it. They mimic the NCAA just as quick as anybody I've ever seen. They'll follow the rule.
And then it'll trickle down to us too.
Right. It'll be immediate because everybody say why not? And you say okay, why not? Now are there teams in high school maybe that have a problem with it? Possibly, but I don't think if you have it, there's not a booster that wouldn't be like, how much did that cost? $150 or whatever it would be. Good, we're good. We'll get it taken care of for you. So that's for sure.
We've continued with the what's bugging me.
Yes. So I didn't. That was going to be it, but not mine. But you go first if you want to go. What's bugging me?
No, you need to go first.
Okay. What's bugging me tonight is simply Jimbo Fisher. Okay.
Jimbo himself.
Jimbo Fisher
or Texas A&M.
Well, a combination of the two. They deserve each other. Okay, because you have flaunted at Texas A&M this enormous amount of money you have somewhere. It was Nick Saban upset with the fact that they had $23 million war chest to buy players to be the number 1 recruiting class in the country 2 years ago.
That's it?
It didn't get him much.
$23 million?
He didn't win anything by doing it either. So it didn't.
Well, he got like 6 5-stars.
Right. So that's what Nick said. And it could have been more than 23. Maybe Jimbo was blustering because he's like 23. I got $230 million I can spend, and there's no salary cap. So Jimbo they re-up him, and 1 year into the re-up, they decide they're going to buy him out for $76 million or whatever it comes to.
And what's unique about his is typically when you have a coach that you have to continue to pay, if they take another job, let's just say UF says we want to hire Jimbo Fisher. Well, they subtract whatever UF's paying them, and then they only pay him the remainder.
Not in this case.
Not in this case. He gets it all.
Right. Because that's because he just signed The deal he got to start with was fantastic. The second deal was a dream. It was like he had it all. He was as secure as could be. And
he only made $26 million coaching Texas A&M.
Right.
He's going to make $76 million not coaching them.
Right. And so with that, you come in here, and I'm not saying that like you get the big payday, all these guarantees, and you don't get a little bit, lazy.
You're only $9 million away from being able to pay every scholarship player $1 million.
Right.
You're only $9 million
85, right? That's all you need.
85. 80, everybody gets $1 million. That draws some good players there.
You'd think. But again, so Jimbo Fisher, obviously, again, it's one of those things where it just didn't seem like the guy who took over who wanted Bobby Bowden to leave so he could be the head coach and then took Florida State to a national championship. It seems like ever since then, it's just been about Jimbo looking for a bigger paycheck. And Texas A&M accommodated him. And so his sort of, I don't know, whatever his what's the word I'm looking for? But his motives were money-based, going to the next place with a bigger house and a bigger front yard or whatever it may be at Texas A&M, and didn't really perform on the field like he should have. And then you get that, and then he gets bought out, gets rewarded for being subpar, and A&M is willing and able to go ahead and pay him for it. And now, if you're A&M and you paid all this money off, you got to go get a guy, not a coordinator, not the hot guy from the MAC.
You got to have the money for that.
But listen, we talked about this pre-show.
Let me ask you this: could Florida buy out Napier for $76 million?
I would say they could, but I don't know if they would. I don't know if they would go. That's the difference maybe between what A&M is doing. That's why I said A&M a little bit. You're that committed or whatever to getting this coach out here that you're willing to pay $76 million.
Could Florida pay $76 million?
They could.
I think they could.
Again, this money's not coming again.
What's $76 million buy you? It obviously gets you an indoor facility, right?
This is beyond.
It gets you close to a whole new facility, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of money to spend
buildings
of just getting rid of somebody.
Right. It's lost money. You throw it in a fire. That money. Throw the Jimbo Fisher's fire, but the idea is that you are looking at now, like I said. So now A&M's going to go out there. They made a big splash, spent all this money to get the guy that's better than Jimbo Fisher, whoever that may be, or they think he is. It's got to be a big-name guy. Dion comes to mind because he's a Texas guy. Urban Meyer's sitting back. You think they called Urban Meyer, he'd say, I'll do it. You gave him $76 million? Okay. I need $25 million up front. I need this. I need that. 5 years, guaranteed. You can name – they've put themselves in a spot that if they want to get that next guy, whoever that may be, it's big money. I've heard Dan Lanning out of Oregon.
I'll do it for a planning period, extra planning period. I'll do it for a year.
Just leave me alone.
Let me do it for a year. Let me do it for a year. If I go 8-3 with just one extra planning period,
that's it. But I mean, you got to think about they got to get a guy that when it's all said and done, you got the fan base is going to go okay, because now the fan base is going to be like, okay, you spent all this money. Now what are you going to do? So the pressure's on. They got to find a guy.
Yeah.
Listen, maybe they fired him so quick and they're willing to spend the money because they have a guy. You never know.
That's right.
They could have a guy ready. So maybe they're smarter than we think, or at least I think. But we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M are bugging me. They're truly knowing what's bugging me. What's bugging you?
Well, I'm not sure I can talk about what's bugging me.
Okay. Is it?
Because it has to do with high school football, and I'm not sure I can talk about the subject.
Okay.
But let's just say this. There's been a lot of games this year that at the end of the game there's been some major mistakes.
Okay.
And that kind of bothers me.
Talking about
you had Coco.
Yeah. CAI.
Well, that was one. I don't know if that was I don't know if that was their fault.
Right.
But it's just that's been bothering me. Let's close out some games.
Yeah.
Even us last week, our CAI,
Mm-hmm.
with the fumbles or the onside kicks, like come on.
Yeah.
Let's close out these games.
Right.
And then it's Florida's bugging me.
Okay.
Because it kind of became a Florida fan.
Yeah.
Semi-Florida fan. Really, my team's Alabama, but semi-Florida fan. and I just can't understand why they can't pull it together a little bit better.
Well, I think a lot of it, I watch Florida play, and I feel like I'm watching a very well-attended scrimmage. Like, let's try this, and let's try this. And I don't know, is that because the plan is in place and there's been, let's say you come into a job, whatever the job is, all right, and you're going to be the manager of Bogies, let's say, and you say, look, I see some things I want to change. Give me 2 years.
Try these new fries.
Yeah, let me give me 2 years.
Fries are great.
I'm going to change the menu around.
Yeah.
One night I might surprise this. I might do this, and it didn't pop, or people didn't like it. Okay, well, and you keep on doing it in 2 minutes. Say, you know what? But I'm putting some pieces in place. I'm going to hire a temporary chef because he has some experience on the road, but he'll only be here a year or two. He'll be out. But I'm really trying to get the 5-star chef. I think that somehow or another, there has to be some level of comfort that Billy Napier has, where he feels like he's okay. He's riding a 2-year buffer. He's convinced Scott Strickland and the people at Florida that, hey, this was a messed up culture at the school. Some of these players had.
I don't think he can do it next year.
There's no way.
Yeah, I think he's gone. How long is his contract for?
It's for 5, is what I think.
And this is year 3?
This is year 2 he's in right now.
Year 2?
He'll be 3 next year.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that what the other thing I say is, now you're saying everybody's banking on a recruiting class. We know, but let's say you get 25 recruits. By the time they're going to be seniors, only about 12 of them make it through.
Yeah,
some go early,
he's not going to have.
if
he doesn't win, he won't have the chance to see him through.
Right. So now you're going to bank on the fact that you're already young as it is, and you're going to bring a whole another bunch of young guys in win in the SEC.
What about Urban back to Florida?
Listen, is
that a possibility? So they leave on good terms.
The reason kind of, sorta, because remember he stuck around for an extra year when he was first initially got sick, and he stuck around and then he resigned. I think the biggest problem that Florida fan had didn't have the fact that he resigned, but that he claimed that he wasn't going to coach anymore. Spent about 15 minutes doing announcing, and then was at Ohio State soon after that. So everybody felt he ran out of a bad situation, which that Netflix thing never really showed the whole story.
Yeah,
was Netflix very whitewashing of
they
his.
They did a very supportive of him.
Absolutely, it looked like he was. They almost played it off like it was a joke. Or like, oh, this is stuff that happens, and this is funny situation here.
Well, the preview made it seem like, oh, we're gonna
expose.
Yeah, but it was not. No,
it was not. But anyway, no, I said it. I said we talked about this. A bunch of Florida fans together. I'm like, what happens? I said, if Billy Napier isn't good, okay, do you go back to Urban Meyer? Because you say to him, look, you left here. Do you want to make him? Do you want to try to fix something? Do you come in with again, he's got a short window because he doesn't last more than 5 years anywhere he's been, right? So you say, give us 4 and mentor the next guy. I mean, he left behind a Ryan Day at Ohio State, okay? He left behind at Utah Whittingham, who's been there for 20 years almost now, and he's damn good coach.
Well, didn't he leave behind
nobody?
Dan Mullen?
No, Mullen didn't stay. Mullen was gone before Meyer left. Mullen left for Mississippi State when he was still on the coaching staff.
The O-line coach.
Adazio?
Yeah.
That wasn't a leave behind. That was an interim thing. He was not the guy. He wasn't ready for Florida. He didn't leave a guy. The guys who left behind in other places knew what they were doing. They were prepared to be head coaches. So go in there, get it all set up, put your program in place again.
Right.
He turns him around in a year. It doesn't take him.
No, I know. It doesn't
5
take him
years.
long. Yeah, I know.
He says, "What do you got?" Okay, boom, boom, boom. Puts these guys together.
Nowadays, you can do it definitely in a year.
Can you imagine that guy with a portal? He's never been a coach with a portal.
Right.
He'd be all Americans all over the place.
Yeah.
So you say to yourself, as Florida fan, that might be the only time you take Urban Meyer back. We're mad at him.
We forgive you.
Right. We forgive you, and we're going to put your name on the Ring of Honor, right? Because he's the only guy who's got the credentials to be up there who's not up there.
We forgive you.
Come on back. Fix us. You broke it. Now fix it and set us up for the next. I can see it happen for sure. So but you're right. You said Florida's bugging you. It is hard to watch. There are times it's very hard to watch because there are guys and players. It's different problems every time. It's position, guy in the wrong spot, penalties. There's things that they take just take turns. And the biggest problem is, and you can understand this, is the calamity in game management with players running on the field and off the field and not enough
Look at
guys.
last night. The Bills lose the game with 12 people on the field. It's crazy.
So now what's his face? McDermott did that all day today. Is McDermott gone? Is he done? Because now that wasn't the reason they lost. The only reason, but a part of it. Napier's done that same thing about a dozen times this year with 2 number 3s and 8 guys on the field and 12, 13 guys on defense, 22 guys on it going in for a field goal. All these things that have happened, and one time for McDermott on a team that's 5-5, ironically, and he's getting told he's got the door might be hitting him on the butt on the way out. So it is that kind of thing. So we'll see. But again, that's the What's Bugging Me, Truly Nolan, What's Bugging Me segment. So we do appreciate
it was fun
them.
to get back on the live podcast.
It's funny because you say we're talking before on the 1:30-second break we had, and we're like, how long did that go for? And it's funny because you don't know because the conversation leads into other things, which is fun about a podcast. I mean, that's kind of behind the scenes, but it's a fun deal to be able to kind of just talk for a little bit as opposed to sort of being, strictly on point. Because sometimes you can get a lot of stuff, interesting stuff, as long as we don't hurt feelings or anything.
That's right.
Like
I don't
that.
think we hurt anybody's feelings tonight.
No, we it's just like anything else. Everybody has opinions.
Might have hurt Napier's feelings.
I don't think if he's watching. Hey, there's a spot you can what's bugging me. You can tell he bugs you and I bug you. I have no problem with that. We do that all day. Yeah. If anybody is bugged by us, give us a shout.
We'll get them on. Yeah, we'll get them on. Yeah.
We'll have fun with it.
Yeah.
I know. I think you got to bug somebody.
Me?
Well, me too, but you definitely do.
I guarantee I bug a lot of people. A lot of people.
Yeah, probably so.
We're probably going to do it at a different venue than Bogies.
Yes.
I'm not sure what their seating capacity is here.
Yeah.
for
that many people? Yeah. There'll be a line at the door.
Yeah.
With number 45, you're up next. What's bugging you? Coach Peacock went for a 2-point conversion in the third quarter.
All-day event. It'll be an all-day event. You get 30 seconds. That's it. I would do it.
I would do it too.
Yeah,
You know what would be funny? That would be
you get
really
30,
funny.
I get 30 to why you bug me.
That would be hysterical. All right, that might be an idea. Maybe we can concoct something where we get it.
They come in, they get 30 seconds. What bugs them? I get the rebuttal, and it's over. We got to move on.
The only thing Francis have a problem with is getting everybody's levels right, voice levels. Yeah. You have one guy screaming and one guy whispering.
We have to have security here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Get Damon. Damon is the go-to security guy.
Yeah.
So we no doubt about that. All right, 7:30, Friday night, Pal Davis Stadium. Make it loud. The light show will be there. The band will be there. The ROTC will be there. I'm sure we're honoring somebody as a coin toss person. I haven't heard anything yet, but that seems to be a pretty cool little deal that's got started last few seasons. We're doing that as well. And hopefully a win for the Indians, but hopefully a great game as well. So that would be fantastic. John, it was nice getting back together, doing this again. So, we'll soon enough we'll be probably back in the new venue at Douglas Jeep.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that. They got the new place.
Francis has already got all kinds of plans, and he's designing where we're going to be sitting and the whole thing. So, and their new indoor used car lot. So it'll be kind of cool. So with that, we'll say goodnight. Thank you for watching the 941 Sports Zone. For John Peacock, I'm John Mussone. See you on Friday night.